Oh, I did it. Okay. I have it backwards the way that I usually have it set up. That's weird. Threw me off. Hi, Summer. How are you? Your name is my favorite season. Oh, yeah, it was there. Just trying to remember where I left off when I shared it. Okay. Hello, how are you? Hello, my head will be down for a moment in the beginning of the live. That's because I'm sharing on other channels. I'm going live on multiple channels tonight. So if you are a part of my live, you might notice me looking in different directions and saying hi, or because these ones down here are both TikTok channels, you might see me doing some like things like that, but I limit that stuff. Well, there's really only one that I do it for, and that's when someone joins the TT crew. Okay. Hi. Pop. And there. Done all my sharing on that side. Sharing is caring. And now we're going to share on this one to people who follow this channel. And then we'll be able to talk about all kinds of things. You can even ask me questions if you'd like. Yeah, you can ask me questions if you'd like. Almost. Oops. Oh my goodness. When it does that, it kicks you out when you touch the wrong button and yeah, there we are. Okay. We're just going to leave it at that. We're good. We're good. I'm not going to play with any other buttons. Hi, Cuddles. How are you? I'm out in Alberta now. Hello. How are you? We're going to talk about a bunch of different things today because, well, I always do. We will check in on the energy with the cards. Yeah. I'm going to talk about all kinds of things. And if you ask questions, I'll answer them. Hi, Mr. Nobody, Casey and Chai. Hello, hello. All right, I'm just going to give it a minute for some people to show up and get ready, and then we'll get started. In the meantime, I'm going to smack my cards around. What brings you to TikTok? Where are you coming from? What are you looking for? How's life? Oh yeah. Hello. I'm going to turn on some background music. I'm going to do a meditation later on. It's going to be a really good meditation. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, stick around. We're going to talk about spirituality. Hi, thank you. We're going to talk about all the powerful things that happened today. And what I mean by that is we have a new moon in Leo. Hi, Ahmed. We have a new moon in Leo. We have a solar eclipse. There's a bunch of stuff going on. So I figured I would talk about that, but from a much more grounded perspective. I don't like to inflate the energy or anything like that. And I like to give you clear, practical ways to use or explore the energy. You came here after you got blocked. Well, it wasn't me. At least I don't think. If it was, I don't remember. Kidding. So I am someone who loves to teach. I've been teaching throughout my life in different ways, but I love to teach you how to learn and also how to more understand yourself more deeply. That's probably the better way to say that. Let's see if my tea is hot enough to drink. Nope, she's still just a bit. She's a bit. Whew. I'm glad I took a tiny sip. Yeah, it's chilly. It was chilly today here for sure, but no, that's hot. It's very hot. It was not cold enough to drink. But yeah, I did speak it backwards though. I was like, I wonder if this is hot enough to drink, and I did say it backwards. But that's okay. Right, be careful, be careful. So I'm somebody that has a lot of knowledge around a large variety of topics, and that might sound funny. I mean, I'm sure maybe you're one of those people too. You know a lot about a lot. Not a lot about a little, or a little about a lot. That's the way it goes, right? But a lot about a lot. Right? Well, one of the ways that we know is by observing, right? When we observe things and we observe it over time, then what it goes on and on ends up becoming, right? Ends up becoming what we know to be more true, right? Right? We can then use reason. Reason would be another one. And I love that. I love that. I love that. That's just beautiful. We got our we got our first troll of the night. Lovely. Okay, I'm going to check in with the cards. Yeah, exactly. Immediately. Laura, apparently. Right. Well, my desk's standing up today, and that changes things a bit. I'm going to actually put this back a little bit. That'll help. Won't feel like I'm seeing you so close. Thank you for liking the live. I appreciate you. All right, let's see what the cards have to say. Ooh, I missed a couple. Good thing I caught them. Good thing I caught them. All right. Hi, Miranda. How are you, love? Long time no see. We're just checking on the energy for the collective right now, and let's see what comes out. That was a lot. It's weird. I'm not sure. Hi, Kathy. How are you, love? Well, we got the Tower card. Okay, the beautiful Tower card. Now, lots of us are scared of the Tower card. The good thing about this one is it's actually reversed, which means that it's the lesser of the two. When it's in the upright, it's about that unexpected big change that happens in your life. And oftentimes those Tower moments are, when we look back at them, they actually were the best moments of our lives, because it catapulted us into the next level. Or, it maybe was something that we were having a hard time making a decision for. So the universe did it for us. And it went, we're just going to help you along the way. Right? Many of us get that when we refuse to heal. We have those signs that something's out of alignment in our lives, and we keep ignoring it. And we ignore it, and we ignore it, and we ignore it. And then eventually we get some injury or some illness or some diagnosis. And it's upon looking at that diagnosis that we go, okay, I need to do something to change. The guy that's, drinking beer every night after work, that's sitting down, not doing anything, that's eating really fatty foods, that, is mowing down on bags of chips and, slamming Pepsi or Coke or all of this other stuff, when he has a heart attack, which he inevitably will, especially if he's somebody that's very angry, right? So when he has a heart attack, it's not that the warning signs haven't been there all along. It's just that he didn't take his health seriously until something serious happened to his health. And we have to stop operating like that. When the tower happens in the upright, it's usually bringing us the awareness and the change that needed to happen for those things that we were refusing to deal with or address. That's an example of it in the upright. When it's in the reverse, that means that we narrowly avoided it. So it's almost like you wake up just before that crash, right? That's the person that goes, wait, I'm starting to feel a little heavy. I don't like this. This isn't feeling comfortable. I'm a little bit winded. I think I need to look at what I'm eating. I think I need to look at what my life is like, my sleep, my relationships, and I need to start to take things seriously and get healthy. So whatever this is that was narrowly avoided, by the way, I'll say the tower reminds you that true transformation often begins in chaos. It does. Do not fear the storm. It is the force that clears your path. Allow the old to fall so that the new can rise. And how nice on a new moon. We have the 7 of air. Now the 7 of air was in the upright, which is good. In a way, it's actually not good. I apologize. The 7 in the air, the air cards tend to have a better meaning when they're reversed. They tend to have their more harsh meanings when they're in the upright. So the 7 of air is talking about strategy, hidden motives, discernment, illusion, secrecy. There's a lot of that going on in the world right now. There's a lot of places where there are lies, where you think something's happening, but you find out it's a sound stage, or someone's wearing a costume or a mask, or it's a script or something else, a hologram. It's all kinds of neat things going on, all kinds of neat things out there. So you just really have to lean on your discernment. And if you don't know your discernment, be careful. The truth is always revealed. And this card is the one that is about harnessing your discernment. So it's a reminder that discernment is your greatest power. You're being asked to see beyond illusions, trust your intuition, and navigate carefully. If something feels off, investigate further. The truth will always reveal itself. And the truth will set you free. Many of us don't want to know the truth, right? When we're out there and people are wondering why people seem to be so blind to everything that's going on, when you're like, how do you not see that? I don't understand. I'm guilty of this. I do it all the time. I will sit there and go, I just don't understand. I don't understand how people don't see. And I have a little rainbow out there. Oh, nice. It's very faint now. So, you look at people and you wonder, how do they not see these things? It's because they don't want to. They like to remain blind to it. Some people don't want to know the truth because the truth will force change. My dog might bark really loud here in a moment, and there's nothing I can do about it. I only hope that he's sleeping because a fox is just heading down the driveway. He's sleeping. Oh, absolutely. You learn. You learn the most from your mistakes. If everything was handed to you easy, what do you learn from all of those easy things happening? Right? You have to. Oh, I can't. He's gone now. He's definitely gone. I've got so many though on record because we got quite a few here. All right, the next card that came out with the 6 of Ether, and the 6 of Ether is that there is a cosmic shift happening. What a nice day to talk about a cosmic shift on a good old new moon, on a solar eclipse. Interesting. This is a passage through an energetic gateway, leaving behind dense realities, moving toward peace and clarity and assistance from higher realms. The 6 of ether is a sacred passage. You are moving into higher awareness, into alignment with your divine mission, and into deeper resonance with universal flow. Embrace the shift, trust the journey, and step through the veil into your highest timelines. Okay. And hello, thank you. And then we have the last card of the Arcana, or sorry, of the Tarot, is the Magician. So this is my deck of cards. I created the entire deck, wrote all the messages in handwriting on the back. These are pictures I printed off on my printer. They're pictures that I drew on my iPad. And they're called the Etherian Tarot because they include the ether element, because there's 5 elements, not just 4. So I wanted to include it. Hello. Okay, the ether card. We're not waiting any longer. All right, so in upright, the ether is about the magician, the magician is about manifestation. We are always manifesting our reality through our thoughts, our beliefs, our emotions, our actions. It's what you're consistently sitting in the most is the experiences that you're going to generate around yourself because of the beliefs that you have. There is a collective reality that we all combine our belief systems together to create, and that's what we exist within as well. And so the magician is just, this is you being aware of the fact that you are the one that manifests it. So this is manifestation mastery, focused intention, using knowledge to create, aligning with divine will, taking action on inspired ideas, and it is personal empowerment. You are the cosmic architect. The magician is here to remind you that you are not just a dreamer, you are a creator. And now is the time to step forward with confidence and shape the world with your vision and mastery. The universe responds to those who believe in their power. How beautiful is that? So the point of my lives, I don't do that. Sometimes I pull a card, right? Sometimes I pull a card, but I don't, if I do pull a card, I pull a card that is, I just ask spirit for the best message for you. That's the way I do it. You don't know how to get unstuck. What do you mean, Aringo? That was so weird. Huh. Somebody was watching, and as soon as I went to tap on them, they went away. So what is your goal? Right, it's so hard to look at just that one message and, I'm trying to tap into what would be the message that you need to hear, or how to. Just give me 1 second and see if it comes to. So what is your goal? There's a lot of that going on collectively though, right? What are the social circles like that you have around you? Like, are you able to connect with people who see you or understand you? Like, I don't have a lot of friends that are close by that I don't spend a lot of time. Like, I mean, my business partner and I are friends, and I do see my business partner frequently, but I don't, I don't see anybody other than that. Like my friends all live all over the world somewhere. My family's in many provinces away. So I feel, but I don't feel disconnected. I feel the disconnection in society for sure. So is it part of that creeping into you, that it's just you're feeling the collective energy, and there's an enormous amount of grief in the collective right now, and it's going to continue to grow. And many of us that are aware of that grief and can handle it are meant to transmute it, to help transmute it. Hi, Francis. How are you, love? It's been a while. Hello. Still going, 5 years strong. 5 years strong on TikTok, 5 years strong in business. You know, like, yes. Oh, how are you doing, Francis? I know I celebrated it quietly, you know. I didn't do anything. Oh, thank you, Titi. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. Well, I mean, I don't drink anyway. Aw. What can we do to help you get to thriving instead of surviving? Ah. You know what I would encourage you to do, Aringo? I would encourage you to come and marry me. I would encourage you to on my website, okay? On my website, I offer a free call for anyone who's interested in potentially working with me, and that doesn't have to be an expensive thing. Okay, I have things that are literally $22 Canadian. So I mean, when it comes to the money out across the world, Canada's ranking pretty low. So, you know, if you're in the States, it's like, I don't know, $15. If you're in the UK, it's like 12. I don't know. I'm guessing. In the UK, yes. Right. So we're just meant to, what I have found in my exploration, okay, and I've not had an easy life. I have had a beautiful, adventurous, crazy, wild, up and down, all around, here and there, crazy life. I've had that. I've had, I got trauma. I was given that. I was given that in droves in every way you could imagine. But yeah, I had quite an adventurous and crazy life. But what I've found in all of everything that I've done, with all the healing that I've done and the learning that I've done, and I love learning, so I'm constantly learning, and I love teaching, so I'm constantly teaching. I'm either writing books or creating courses or teaching somebody something somewhere, because it's just my passion. I love to help people to understand themselves better, because it's something that sets you completely free, right? When you realize who you are, and it's just about remembering. It's about remembering who you were before all the roles that you adopted and identities that you've assumed over your life, either to get connection, to get safety, to, for a bunch of different reasons, right? But they're all because that's what our nervous system is looking for, is that connection. It's looking for safety, right? Your nervous system is constantly going around going, am I safe? Am I safe? Inside, am I safe? Outside, am I safe? Am I safe? Right? Constantly. It's just looking around, testing out, and then it's giving you cues. Woohoo, we're flipping it. Some egg there. Thank you very much, Francis. right? So your nervous system has learned to adapt in the environment in which it was raised in. So if you were in an environment that was chaotic, that was uncertain, that was neglectful, that, you know, had all of these things, well, that's where your nervous system was raised. So now your nervous system is looking for familiar, because familiar also equals safety. So if you had chaos before, it's looking for chaos. So oftentimes when our nervous systems, or when we think that we're stuck, or when we think that, you know, we're seeing these patterns again and again, we are. And it's because we're given an opportunity each time that we see that pattern to respond differently, to just to work a little, to respond differently, as the best way that I can put it. So let me try to pull one from my story. I got lots. I've done lots of silly things, had lots of different experiences, many amazing experiences too. I worked as a nurse for over 20 years. I flew around the world for 5 of them as a flight nurse, and it was pretty fantastic. And that's an amazing accomplishment. I was some punk little kid that was born to 2, you know, parents that, like, my mom was 17 and I was her second kid. She was married off when she was 15. Oh, the good old days. The good old days. Right? So to come from that upbringing and all the experiences that I had along the way, and there were a lot of thumps and wumps and bumps and everything else. So to be flying around the world was quite a change. But let's use a good example. When I would get overwhelmed, because when you grow up with trauma, one of the things that you don't get is how to manage your emotions. Nobody teaches you how to soothe yourself or to understand how to express emotions in a healthy way. Nobody teaches you that. So when you're an adult, when something happens and your nervous system gets overloaded and it goes beyond the capacity that it has to handle what is given to it, so your window of tolerance, when that's exceeded, then you're triggered. That trigger sends you back to where you were when you were injured in this way. So if your abandonment wound was 3 years old, when somebody leaves, hi Starbeams, how are you, love? Nice to see you back. Mwah. So you go back to being that 3-year-old. Hi, dear bear. Tee. So when you think that when you see somebody out in public, right, and they're having a massive freak out in the grocery store or in a restaurant or something, and they're acting like a toddler, that's because something in that moment triggered them in a space that threw them back to when they were like 3 years old. So there they are, a 3-year-old again, emotionally. And because nobody taught them how to manage their emotions, how to understand those emotions and what a healthy response is, and also their place in the world. Because a lot of times that's the biggest trigger of it all, right? Is that it's hitting you in the rejection. Well, we want connection, right? It hits us in abandonment. We want connection. We want safety and connection. So, you know, those are very, very big wounds that many of us have. How are you doing, Jer Bear? And how are you doing, Star Beings? Oh my God, that's the perfect temperature. Just give me a second. Oh my God, so many wounds. My son, he got bit by a dog on the weekend. And okay, so my son's an adult, he lives by himself, but I was a nurse for over 20 years, so anytime he gets injured I get a picture. So I just got a picture of like an injury, and I'm like immediately on the phone. Hello. Like, what did you do? Oh my goodness, of course they did. Of course they did. So he sends me the picture and I walk him through it. But one of the things that I helped him with at that time is that when something like that happens, many of us have injury wounds. when we were injured, we maybe grew up in a time when someone told us to suck it up, buttercup, or are you crying? I'll give you something to cry about. Does that hurt? You want me to give you something that hurts worse? These were things that I heard as a child. I also had parents, or I had family and relationships even, where if I got injured, they would get mad at me and I would get in trouble and shamed for the fact that I got injured. So that's a trauma that gets passed down. And so when my son got bit by the dog, I said to him, like, you have to remember, this is something that may trigger you. It's going to trigger you in an injury wound, right? So if you have any issues around that, okay, love you. If you have any injuries around, any traumas around that, you need to kind of look at that. I said, when I was in Costa Rica, I got bit in the leg. Hi, Keeper Jeannie. I got bit in the leg by a dog, and that sent me back to when I was a kid, and I would have gotten a lot of trouble. I would have got made to feel really, 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 really bad that I got hurt, because what was I doing and how stupid was I, or whatever, right? Like, it would have been that kind of thing. So, and I know that my son, not from me, but maybe from other people around him, from other experiences where it wasn't just managed properly. And I'm not silly enough to think that, as much as I thought I did the right thing, that there's not a possibility that I didn't somehow create part of a trauma in him around an injury. Right? My son had lots. He had lots. He was, like, him and I are the same. I'm like, even now when I'm showering myself, I'm like, oh, got another ding, another dang, another day, right? Like, it's like, well, there's another scratch. There's another burn. There's another cut, right? There's another something. But that's because I'm living life, and I live life out in nature. And well, nature is surprising sometimes. Sometimes nature has like a sharp edge, and that's okay. I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way. So today we had all of that really, really great energy. I have to look at my notes on this because I wrote down a bunch of notes because of the energy between the new moon, the total solar eclipse, and yeah, just the energy. Because I think, it's important to look at it from a more practical light. So it's good old Leo. What's Leo known for? Leo is known for that big heart, and definitely being authentic, right? Leo likes to shine and radiate, and really likes it when the whole production shines. Leo doesn't shine for Leo. Leo wants like everybody to win, because really that's the level that Leo is. But tropical astrology and mainstream really like to add toxic things into stuff, because then when you buy into the label, you buy into the toxicity as well. And many of us do. We look at something like Leo and think, oh, Leo's arrogant or whatever. So then you're born under the sign of Leo and you're like, great, I get to be arrogant. I'm Aries. I get to be angry when I want to be, and I can just blame it on my sign. Right? You see it as shameful as it is. Okay, maybe not shameful. That's going too far. Never. Is that in tropical or in true sidereal, Francis? I feel like that's tropical, which then means that you'd be potentially Ophiuchus or Scorpio in true sidereal, depending on what time of year you were, like what time of December, November you were born for your for Sagittarius. Because and tropical, I was Sagittarius as well, a super Sagittarius, November 29th. So you'd most likely either be Scorpio and true sidereal, or you would even move into Libra, because both Scorpio and Ophiuchus are smaller. They occupy a smaller portion of the sky. True sidereal looks at the actual true size of the planets in the cosmos. It looks at the true size of the celestial bodies, and it considers all of the factors, and it's just the living sky, exactly as the living sky is. So that's what I like to use. when I'm discussing anything to do with the sky or the elements or anything like that. So today we have a new moon in Leo and a solar eclipse, like I was saying. And so one of the things that I want to shift the attention from, because much of the focus of new moons is manifestation, right? And it's what do I want to manifest? But when we're looking at Leo, because Leo is about that energy of, like of self-expression and authenticity. TT, hi Devin. Aw, thank you. Hi Rella. Oh, hi, how are you? So it's asking instead, who am I capable of becoming? Because that's the Leo energy. Okay. So the sun is in Leo and Mercury is in Cancer, Venus is in Virgo, Mars is in Gemini, Jupiter is in Cancer, Saturn and Neptune are in Pisces, and Pluto remains in Capricorn. Thank you. So this is the energy that is saying, go forward, be bold, and start something. Okay. All right. What did you guys want to do? Did you guys want to talk about some? So I was just going through the new moon and solar eclipse and just giving some education on that. So when we have the moon, which started out today in Cancer, and then it moved into Leo. So right in the beginning, Cancer is all about home, is about belonging and emotional truth. And then we move into Leo, which is about expression, creativity, it's your heart, it's visibility, the willingness to be seen. So we go from that inside to outside. We begin with coming home to ourselves before we go into being seen. So Leo gets reduced to confidence and attention, performance, drama, and being seen. But there's so much more of a mature expression to Leo than what mainstream astrology promotes, right? It just wants you to think of more of those toxic elements. Leo is heart-led expression, it's creativity, it's courage, it's the willingness to occupy your own life, it's the willingness to allow your gifts to be visible, and importantly, the ability to do that without requiring everyone else to validate you first. And that's one of the things that Leo has to work through, is that we live in an age where everybody, is looking external to them for everything, right? We look to the government, to police, to those things as authorities, and we look to, science as the trusted authority of health and, everything valid. And, we give our trust or, our sovereignty away to religion, and, even that a savior would come and save us. And, you get people that are waking up thinking that the aliens are going to come and save us, or that angels are coming to save us, or that, someone's coming to save us, rather than looking at, when we're healthy, we are internal. We know that I am sovereign. I don't need someone to make decisions for me. I live my life quite well without anyone having any interference into my life. If I need to do something, I know either where to go to find someone to do it, or I can figure out how to do it myself. And so and everybody else can do that same thing. And if they haven't, they've given up their authority for what? I'm not sure. But Leo, like I said, that Leo is, I matter, and therefore I am willing to be seen, rather than that other Leo that they want, which is, look at me so I know I matter, right? Oh yes, but love The healthy love that we're supposed to have is not even the healthy love that they promote most of the time isn't the healthy love that we're supposed to have, right? We are supposed to be whole, and we're supposed to be whole within ourselves, and then meet somebody else who is whole within themselves, right? And have a relationship that's based on that. And it's love, it's attraction, it's all of that stuff. But there's not that dependency. It's an interdependent relationship where you have your own independence, plus there's a dependence within each other, right? There's a shared goal, there's a shared future, right? You're supposed to come together to work together, like in that kind of way. So the new moon in Leo is an opportunity to look at our relationship with visibility. Where have I been making myself smaller? Where am I waiting for permission? Where am I performing instead of expressing? Where am I seeking validation rather than trusting what I know? And where is something within me genuinely ready to come forward? So that's what the new moon is going to ask us, is to review those things. New moon is the beginning of a new lunar cycle. The sky becomes the darkest because the moon is turned away from us, and it's a lot of times the beginnings begin in darkness. It's like with the tarot where it's talked about the tower moment, right? That tower moment, and whether it was narrowly avoided or not, is still something that happened that needed to happen because we weren't making the decision to change, or to unstick ourselves, maybe even, right? Is a good way to put it. So we can set intentions, absolutely, but an intention is not a demand. Okay. An intention is a direction. It says, this is what I am willing to cultivate. And then we live accordingly, right? That's the point. We don't just manifest on the new moon, right? If we're planting seeds, we have to nourish whatever the seed is that we planted. We don't just stick a seed in the soil, walk away, and never go back to it and never tend it, right? We more than likely are watering the soil, right? So now we have this solar eclipse that happened today as well. I heard a report that there were a lot of people that were suffering eye damage from staring at it. I would really hope that we'd grown up enough now to know that we do not look at the eclipse when it's a total eclipse, that it can damage your eyes. Like, did we not learn that in school? I don't know. My school education must have been, I got taught to stop, drop, and roll. I thought fires were going to happen all the time, and that I was going to get caught in one. I got taught to play safe, because if you didn't, you'd lose your arm. And Astro, he taught us well in our advertisements. Play safe. Remember him? You have to remember him, Francis. That robot that would run, like, was flipping around in the machines, and then he lost his arm, and he said, "Hi, my name is Astro. I'm a robot. I can put my arm back on. You can't. Play safe." I can't believe how well I remember that. Like, every word of it. Oh yes, I forgot. I was thinking Canada. Canadian TV. This was fun. And then we got taught about quicksand a lot. I thought I was going to run into quicksand all the time. I was just, why, what? There's not quicksand everywhere. It's not everywhere. Yeah, a couple channels for sure. Just a couple. The rabbit ears. That was easier, though. That was a simpler time. Those I would say would be the good old days. I don't watch TV anymore. Like, very, very rarely. I just can't. I can't be bothered to put on what's on now. It's just absolutely terrible. Most of it is either demonic or it's horror. repeat of something that was made already once, and they're trying to do it again and make it hip again, and it's not even new, and it's just not even better, it's worse. You know what I mean? Like, TV's just not the same. And when you know it's programming, well, then there's just no fun watching it at all. Yeah. So a solar eclipse occurs when the moon passes between the earth and the sun, temporarily obscuring the sun from our perspective. So it did happen. It was more prominent in your area, Francis. Like, you must have got a good picture of that for the 2 minutes, I think, that it occurred today. In Canada, we would have seen it where it was more like this, where the moon only obscured like about that much of the sun. So we would have saw most of it. And then other places of the world, they didn't see it at all. I did too. I did too. And you know what? I was like, well, I guess I wasn't meant to see it. And more than likely, we probably had too much cloud cover. It's been one of those days where it's been a lot of cloud cover. So it's just a temporary obscured sun is all that it was. But there is something about the eclipse which is just really about observing. So that's what it just wants us to do. It's almost like that pause for a moment where the light was obscured. It was just a moment where it just allows us to reflect upon the fact that sometimes the next step is uncertain. Sometimes we don't know the next chapter. You know, sometimes part of the path is obscured, and that's okay. We can just observe and then move forward when we need to. Okay. You could watch my reels. I probably say it in most of them. I also run a nonprofit, Hugs for Homeless. I have a channel dedicated to that. And so you can also, and I start every video basically saying, hi, I'm from Hugs for Homeless. Well, I'm going to make you watch those videos. I'm not just going to give it to you. You have to at least find one video with me in it saying my name. And if you look at my other channel, I might say another name. Anyway, okay, so the cycle that is completing. So every new moon begins a cycle, but it also arises because another one closes, right? So every ending is a new beginning. That's just the way it is. So when we have this completion cycle happening when there's an eclipse, it can make those endings or those thresholds between the ending and the beginning seem particularly significant within the astrological process. But rather than ask, so what am I calling in? Because, right, we're looking at that new moon energy, which is manifestation, but there's more to it. And we should spend a little bit of time asking, what am I complete with? So not what you're done, like you hate it, not what you're trying to get rid of, but what you've genuinely just outgrown. You know that it's just something that was right for years, but now it's not anymore. It's served its perfect purpose and it's done. It's okay. It could be a role, a relationship dynamic, a belief, right? A way of working, a version of ourselves. It just means that work is finished. You've completed whatever you've done. And sometimes the most respectful thing that we can do is allow something to complete without making the past our enemy, right? Even if it's a relationship, right? Sometimes the best thing that we can do is just bid it adieu and move on and thank it for the lessons. Thank it for the growth. Thank it for the experience. Thank it for the love that was there, you know, and then let it end. So Mercury and Jupiter being in Cancer, this is asking that the heart become a part of the conversation, because Mercury is all about communication. Okay, it's your thoughts, it's your thought landscape, your mental landscape. And so it's sound, it's communication, it's technology, it's all of that type of energy is held within Mercury. And so it being in Cancer still means that your communication is going to be more about the emotional aspects. It's going to be more about home and family and belonging and, those types of energies. And Jupiter being in Cancer, now Jupiter is about expansion and growth. Now, a lot of people look at Jupiter and they get all excited thinking, oh, it's going to be abundance. Jupiter is abundance. And yes, growth and expansion can be abundant, but you have to be careful because Jupiter just grows what's in front of it. So if it's something negative, it'll grow that too. It's not discerning about what it's growing. It's just growing what you're focusing on. So anyway, Jupiter being in Cancer is asking us to come back to that emotional intelligence as well, right? So what does this actually feel like? What does home mean now? What nourishes me? What kind of life allows me to remain connected to myself? And like I said, Jupiter can expand whatever it touches within the astrological framework. So Cancer themes become particularly interesting right now. We may see expansions in home, in family, in belonging, in care, in emotional wisdom. The environments we create around ourselves will become a focus. Growth isn't always about becoming bigger. Sometimes growth means creating a life that can actually hold who you've become. Now we have Venus in Virgo. Venus is beauty, attraction, love, relationships. It's really a lot of that divine feminine energy within Venus. It being in Virgo is very discerning energy. So Venus in Virgo brings discernment into what we value. This is useful alongside Leo because Leo can create and express and shine. And Virgo says, wait a second, is this meaningful? Should we really, does this serve anything? Does this belong in the life I'm actually creating? Or are you just doing it because you're enjoying being like the center of the show, right? Because Leo can be fun. Leo likes to perform. We don't need to give everything our energy just because we simply can, right? We don't need to create. So discernment is a part of embodiment. We have Mars in Gemini, and Mars in Gemini means a lot of movement is not necessarily direction. Mars is the forward momentum. Mars is like your masculine energy, right? It's propulsion, it's your drive, it's your energy, your motivation. And Mars in Gemini can bring tremendous mental movement. Like, do you want fast mental action? Be with Gemini, right? Like that is a real quick mind. And Gemini is also home to Mercury, so it's definitely top in communication. So this can bring that incredible mental movement, ideas, conversation, curiosity, multiple directions, things we want to explore, but movement and direction are not the same thing. So we have to be really careful because we can get overwhelmed with the too many options thing and then not pick anything and do anything. Hi, Abrima. Like we have to be careful that we don't get, choice fatigue. It's like the 700 channels. You have 700 channels, but there's nothing on because you're just overwhelmed, and truly because there's nothing on. It's all garbage, right? So it's about recognizing what has enough life in it to deserve your attention, because you can be really, really busy and still not be moving toward what matters, right? You have to be discerning about that. It's very important. So then we have Saturn and Neptune in Pisces as well. And this gives our spiritual life form. And this is... And it's just beautiful, okay? Spirituality cannot only be something that we believe. Eventually, it has to be something that we live. A lot of people think of spirituality in a variety of different ways. They think about religion as a more formal form of spirituality. That's one way that they think of it. Some people think of spirituality as people that are wearing weird clothes and going to weird doing ceremonies or events or whatever, and maybe, like dancing in circles and, tattoos. And I don't know, people have a lot of different ideas about what spirituality is. For me, in all the studying and all the practicing and in my lived experience, spirituality is everything around you. It's out there. It's in nature. It's in your pets, it's in yourself, it's in everything that's alive, is where spirit is found. And it's our relationship with anything that has a spirit that is spirituality, including our relationship with our own spirit, right? There's a lot of people that say, because your spirit's eternal, this is just a meat suit, or this is just a temporary thing that you just cast away. And they kind of look at the body as it's secondary. And that's where we get those people that are really in almost like a spiritual superiority thing. We didn't incarnate on earth to then avoid our body and escape it. That makes no sense at all. When you're a spirit, you can't hug. When you're a spirit, you can't eat. When you're a spirit, you can't do other things. And we like the experience that we get from emotions and feelings and all of that. It's really an amazing ride when you think about it. When you look at everything that you have the ability to experience, when you look at the variety of experiences that everybody in the world has had, life is incredible. It's incredible, the opportunities and variety and experiences and lessons. And some of them are painful and some of them are so beautiful. It's awesome, awe-inspiring, mind-blowing. These terms weren't created because those things never happen. They're terms that we use because at some point somebody looked at a sunset that was so red and orange and blue and pink and purple and spectacular on the ocean, and they were just awestruck. Right? That's the life that's out there. But we tend to put our focus on not life. We put our focus on watching TV and watching other people live pretend lives and entertain ourselves with it. No, I'm very, very happy. Very, very, very. Oh my God, I love my life. It won't let me unfilter it. I'm trying to get them to let me see that. So, there's nothing wrong with that comment. Anyway, it's not showing it in the list yet. No, I'm very, very happy. Very happy. I love my life. I have a beautiful home that I'm in right now. My dog's lying in front of me on the ground. I get to wake up every day and pursue my passion. I just keep creating it and believing and trusting and taking one step forward in the direction that feels most aligned. And that's all it's about, right? I had to figure out who I was underneath all of the traumas I experienced. But once I figured out who that was, the rest has been much easier. Every day, do simple practices to teach your nervous system what safety feels like now. Every time you react is an opportunity for you to catch yourself and say, not today, Batman or Satan, whatever you want to use. I don't care. Not today. Not today, I choose another way. Have a nice little rhyme to it. Not today, I choose another way. And then you do it. Right? When I got bit by that dog and my nervous system went into, oh my God, I'm going to get in so much trouble. I'm going to be shamed. It's not even just so much that I was going to be made to feel like I had done something wrong. I was going to be made to feel like I was wrong. And the person at the time that I was dating, that I was walking back towards, was somebody who definitely was known to get very angry. Reminded me a bit of my dad, and that's probably why I was dating him. Anyway, so there was that fear as well. And I was very good with my nervous system. Like, I allowed myself the expression, like to cry, to feel the emotions. I was okay with that. I expressed to my partner what I was worried about, like why I was as upset as I was. right? And, the other part of it was I was upset because I love animals and I didn't do anything wrong in that situation, but I felt like I had, like, that's just what my nervous system was processing through. Like I was walking down the street and there was some Costa Ricans outside with their dog. And I talked to the ladies and the dog was there and I just reached my hand out and the dog sniffed it and then stepped back. And I went, okay, I'm good. I stepped back too. And when I went to turn around, the dog ran and bit the back of my leg. Like, like the only thing I could have done is just not even approach the dog at all. And that's about the best thing I could have done. But how did I know? Right? Like, and dogs in Costa Rica are not the same as dogs in Canada, right? Like dogs in Costa Rica, there are either pets where they love them or they're dogs that just sit on a chain or in a yard and they have a job. Like, so they either are, and then there's so many strays and stuff like that. Meanwhile, I also had dogs show up at the place that I was staying at. They would show up at the place that I was staying at and for me to pet them. Like one dog, she showed up and she was just it was so cute. She was a stray from down, and I don't even think she was a stray. I think she was the neighbor, like a couple doors down or way down. I think it was one of their dogs. And she came over and she sits at the end of my driveway and her butt's just like, and she's like just sitting there like looking at me like I had to run over there and just give her pets. She drops down on her back like this, just like, oh my God. It was really cute. So, one day you get bit, the other day you get a dog that shows up and asks you to rub their belly. So, that's how life is. It's just the way that life is. Got to roll with it. So when we look at Neptune and Pisces, Neptune and Saturn in Pisces, okay, it is spiritually can only be something that we just believe. It has to be something that we live. Compassion becomes behavior, awareness becomes choice, and discernment becomes boundaries. Love becomes the way we treat people, and inner peace becomes the way we meet difficulty. This is embodied spirituality, not escaping our reality, but choosing to become conscious within it. So become conscious within your humanity. We should be defenders of life. Like we are life and we should defend life. Like, does that not make the most sense in the world? Hello. Do you have any questions at all? Don't feel free to ask. So I have a couple questions for you for this new moon practice. Normally on Wednesdays, I don't cover the celestial bodies. I typically, we chat and hang out and talk about a bunch of different things. And, but today, because it is the new moon and solar eclipse and all of this stuff's going on, I figured it would be a good one to talk about. Honey, I'm just going to open the window. Now that the rain stopped. Oh, look at that. It's looking much nicer out there, friend. How's that, hey? Hello. All right, so what I want you to do is, if you've got a pen and piece of paper, cool. If not, just let me know if you want me to rephrase it or say it again, repeat it. I want you to ask, what are you genuinely complete with? Okay, what are you complete with? Because like I said, as a new moon begins, that means the cycle's ending. We always have an ending when we get a new beginning, and the same, it's just the way that it goes. So what am I genuinely complete with? Okay. And just acknowledge it. Acknowledge it and thank you for what you taught me. I no longer need to carry you forward. Release it. Okay, so we close that door, we close that chapter. It could be a role, identity, relationship, whatever it is. Just release it. Then we're going to cultivate. So what do I want to cultivate during this cycle, right? A new moon, we're planting seeds. So what are we growing? What are we getting this year, this season, this one new moon, this 1 month, right? So this is not 20 things, it's one. Maybe it's courage or creativity or consistency, truth, whatever is genuinely yours. Okay. And then finally we have embody, because you can't, nothing stays unless we live it. Like we have to actually live it in order for, I'm good. How are you, James? So the most important question is, if I were actually cultivating this, what would change in the way I live? So if you were cultivating consistency, let's say, what would change in the way that you live? Well, you're probably going to have more consistent habits. Maybe you're going to set up some schedules or have some routines or something like that, right? You're going to do something different like that. Right? So we have our lovely new moon. No, I'm not from Ghana. I'm from Canada. So Leo reminds us that life is creative. We are creative beings, not because we control everything that happens, because we can't, but because we participate in what comes next through our choices, our attention, our relationships, our actions, and the way we meet the world. What can I get instead? Like, instead of asking that, maybe ask, what am I ready to give life to? So what am I ready to give life to? That's a pretty nice question. What am I ready to give life to? What are you ready to give life to? What are you ready to release, and what are you ready to give life to? And what are you cultivating? Mm-hmm. It's a good one. They don't serve you any good. They do nothing. They do nothing but hurt you, like over time. They're just stuck energy in your body, right? If you release that energy, you'll be free. Yes, you can. Don't say I can't, because I can't. You're setting yourself up right there. Whether you think you can or you can't, you are right. Rephrase that and say, I can let go and I will let go because I want to. Because it is true. Whether you think you can or you can't, you are correct. I will let go. Do it with ease. Why not? Why not? Just let it go. You'll feel so free. It'll feel like a weight just lifts off of you, and you'll just be like, oh, should have done this years ago. Just because you're not holding the grudge doesn't mean that you allow that individual or, that individual back in your life, or that you go back to that situation if it was unhealthy, right? Sometimes our struggles are what is meant to teach us. Did you learn from your struggle? I've learned from mine. Oh, did I ever? I learned. Right? When you think about if it's peace that you were, say, cultivating, then we're looking at the embodiment. what are you continuing to participate in that repeatedly takes you away from peace, right? What is to look at that, right? What is it that you need to, yeah. We can understand sometimes that, these things happen. Forgiveness doesn't mean that you agree with what they did or you condone what they've done to you, right? That's not what forgiveness is about. What forgiveness is about is releasing the energy that's attached to that. So you're not tied to it, going, like running it in your head, holding the energy within your body, allowing yourself to punish yourself or even be tied up in that, negativity towards somebody else. Because you have to remember, your brain doesn't really, and your nervous system really doesn't see it as being others the way that we think it is. Yeah. Yeah, so it's not about forgiveness. It's not it's not about saying that they did nothing wrong and that you have to have a relationship with them, right? That's the other thing. I never promote having a relationship with people is dependent upon the other as much as it is you. If somebody's still being toxic, you don't have to have a relationship with them. Right? If your parents are not being toxic, like they've maybe made choices, made changes, evolved, grown, maybe they're not completely healed, but they're way better now than what they were. And you can have a relationship without getting hurt, right? You've seen positive change in them, then that's on the individual to make that decision. But if you're still going back and you're being re-traumatized all the time, then that's something where I would promote that. Don't have a relationship, right? Because you don't have to. You don't have to have a relationship with anybody. In my opinion, and this is my opinion, hence why I prefaced it that way. Family should treat you better than strangers, right? They're the people that are supposed to love you. So they should treat you better than common strangers on the street, not worse. Not the way that it tends to work in our lives, but hi, Robert. How are you, love? Yeah. Well, I think oftentimes what diagnoses are, and Gabor Mate would agree that, especially when it comes to the DSMV, like the DSM, with the DSM, is that it's a catalog of symptoms, and many of those symptoms are just ways that we have learned to cope and manage or adapt to life because of trauma in order to find safety or connection or whatever it is that we needed to find in that moment, right? And a lot of diagnoses, I would agree, are like that, right? Yeah. It's amazing to see you as well. I hope you had some good lives. You're very busy on here. I'm very busy with writing books and creating classes, but I see you, and yeah, there's never too late to change though, right? Tomorrow I'm teaching a course in a women's group. I am talking about your nervous system and capacity tomorrow because I love talking about the nervous system, and I do. And I love talking about a lot of different things, but I love to definitely answer your questions. And I just want to do a little plug, a shameless plug, because I did mention my nonprofit over there, Hugs for Homeless, Hugs for Homeless nonprofit. based out of Edmonton, Alberta. We currently have a backpack drive going on, and our goal is to help 1,000 people. My partner doesn't think we can do it, and I really did have a lot of hope that we could do it. I'm trying not to lose hope, but but you could help, and you don't even have to help. Like, if you don't have money to help, or you're not in this area and you'd rather help a nonprofit in your area, things like that. I understand it. I understand if you don't have the money. I understand it if you don't have the time and you can't volunteer as well, or if you live in a different area and volunteering is not an option either. But please, when you come across any posts that are from Hugs for Homeless, you can share them and you can interact with them, and that helps a lot. Okay, those types of things are free. And I think that's where I started to get a little bit deflated, because I was sharing posts about messages of hope and people weren't even putting messages of hope down. And I'm like, why not? It's free. It's a positive post, just to put down positive notes for people. Why isn't anyone putting down positive posts? What happened to people, Robert? I don't understand it. It's a free post. Maybe someone will see it and it'll lift their spirits. Someone that's unhoused will see a note. And people might think that the unhoused don't have phones, but they do, right? They do. Yeah, it's been really interesting. It's been very quiet with that type of stuff. Very quiet. Really, really weird. Really weird. Anyway, I'm going to sit with it. Maybe do some meditation. Some powerful meditations, though. Some powerful ones. I'm going to be doing a meditation. I'm not sure when I'm going to do it. I was thinking maybe tonight, but that's only if you're up to it, and I have to get some people to really say that they're going to be up for it. Okay. So one of the most powerful things that we have as a human being is our innocence. Right? Robert knows what I'm saying. So I think we should go on a journey, and we should go and get our innocence. Would you like to? Think about it. Maybe I'll plan it for Saturday. We'll do that as our Saturday meditation. Go, peace. Go away. I think that would be a lovely, lovely journey to take. And maybe Global Meditation Day would be the better day to do it. What do you guys think? We'll go back to the moment just before your soul came into this world, when you were fully intact, and grab your innocence back. I think we should do it. I said go away. All right. I think I'm going to plan that for Saturday. I think I'll plan that for Saturday. Because we've been live now for over an hour 20. So let's not get into a meditation. Although we could do it on the new moon. We could. Okay. Thank you for hanging out with me, for all the comments and the gifts, Francis. I appreciate you. 5'8", 5 foot 8 inches. Next question. Whoop, there we go. Yeah, fairly tall for a girl, I guess. Average, I don't know. I know a lot of girls that are like really, really tiny. So I feel like a giant. um, so yeah. Did you do anything with the solar eclipse or see anything with the solar eclipse, Robert? Probably old enough. You felt it. Yeah. I didn't see it though. I don't know if I was inside or outside or anything. I have no idea. I wasn't paying attention to time today. I had a meeting, and then the meeting got rebooked. And once that meeting got rebooked, I was like, ooh. Tommy. Oh, I love you, baby girl. I miss you. I hope you're doing well. Oh, I would squish you so hard right now. Give you the biggest, squishiest hug. We go get pancakes. Or waffles or something. I know you would take me somewhere with really yummy food. Yeah, two adversaries. Adversities, sorry. Adversary could be. I miss you too. All of it. All of it. Yeah, I had a really beautiful day. I took tons of pictures of all the mushrooms and lichen and like all kinds of fungi. And, like I just went tromping through the woods today and spent a lot of time in nature. I'm so fast. I just love it. Mushrooms make me chuckle. They make me giggle. I love them. There's all kinds of different ones, all kinds of different sizes, all kinds of different, they look so different, all of them. And, like it makes me chuckle. Aw, thank you, sweetheart. I feel amazing. I really do. Very, very happy, healthy. Yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time. We should have a call sometime. We should have a call sometime. I would love to. Like really, 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 really would love to. You pick a day and I'll let you know, or you pick a daytime, either way. It doesn't matter, but let's do it. I agree. Yeah. Super excited about it. What should we talk about, guys? Like I have so many things in my head, and sometimes I find that's the hardest part with what I want to share, is that sometimes it's like a lot of streams of information coming in all at once, and it's hard to pick what to talk about. Right? Like it's just the way that it is what it is. I'm working on some things. Next week we start Return to Center, which is a 7-day course. And in that we are doing practices and a little bit of education, because knowledge is power, right? You need knowledge because knowledge is what informs you. You need to then have awareness, because awareness awakens you, right? If you don't know there's a problem, then why would you look for a solution, or why would you change anything, right? Like we have to see it to be aware of it. We need to practice, right? Practice is what's going to produce that change. It's going to and then we embody it. But embodiment is about sustainment. That's about doing it over time, not just practicing it until you find the relief that you're looking for. It's doing it consistently over time. And that's all that we're doing as we are evolving, as we are remembering, is we're just every time trying to respond more in alignment with ourselves than we have previously, to allow our nervous system to learn safety more than it did the time before, and so much more. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I am from Canada, the Great White North. No, I'm kidding. It's beautiful outside. It's beautiful outside. We don't want to give the illusion that it's always snowing up here if you're from somewhere else, because a lot of people. Alberta. I'm in Alberta currently, although from Ontario and lived in BC as well, but currently in Alberta, away from my girl. Well, I mean, I'm not inviting you over, and it is a public forum, so I'm not really too. Here I am. We're good enough here. Right? Please tell everyone where you are in the world. But yeah. All right, guys. About an hour and a half now that we've been on. I think I'm going to hop off now, and I think I'm going to head for the evening. I am back here. Today's Wednesday, so I'll be back here Saturday at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. And we'll touch base, check in on the energy, check in on the collective, see how they're doing, give them, check in, see how you're doing, do the energy check in. And we will do the global meditation, and part of the global meditation will be to reclaim our innocence. So please do join us. I love you, and you take care too, Damia. I love you. Okay. And like I said, I will see you back here on Saturday.